Hello, everyone. Welcome back. We are so very sorry for the slight technical glitch that we do have. As runners, we are all very keen about the microseconds and the seconds that we take in running. So let's quickly go to the welcome so that we can have our talk and the webinar. Hyderabad Runners, since its inception, has made its mission to create active lifestyles and make running as the preferred form of fitness activity. And we've been doing this actively through our various events like Couch to 5K, AHM, Club Run, Train and Shine, and now the Beyond the Track webinar series. Times are changing. With most of the countries unlocking their economies, the new normal is very quickly taking shape, and it looks like learning to live alongside the COVID-19 virus is one of the criteria we have to accept now. We hope that you're all staying safe and taking all the precautions. As part of our initiatives to keep you constantly aware and educated in these uncertain and turbulent times, we would like to bring you Beyond the Track, a live webinar series of conversations with some of the highly distinguished experts from running and related sports fields to help you all equip yourself with both knowledge as well as practical running aspects. In this edition of Beyond the Track, we are honored to connect you to Yogacharya Bharat Shetty. Let me quickly remind you all, as you've seen, that we do have some network issues and we request patience from all of you. Thank you so much for your patience and for staying on our Facebook page, waiting for us. Also, we do have some questions you already sent us and request others to post your questions in the comment section and we will get them answered to the best of our ability. Without further ado, I'd like to invite Sunita Tumalapalli to introduce and welcome our speaker for today. Over to you, Sunita.
Thank you, Ravati. Today, I have the privilege to introduce a very special guest to the audience. We runners know that it takes more than pure physical strength to train and run long distance races. We include yoga to our training programs regularly as it complements running. Yoga helps in developing muscle strength, flexibility, and balance. It also improves mental focus and breathing efficiency, which are very important for running. There is no better person to gain insight from within the field of yoga than our special guest, Yogacharya Bharat Shetty. Yogacharya Bharat Shetty was born in Udupi, a town in South Karnataka. Yoga has served as a form of personal healing for him since a very young age when he was drawn to the practice of yoga to manage chronic asthma. He also credits yoga to the recovery from a bus accident in 1999, which incapacitated his legs. Yoga fostered the inner strength on the process to recovery, and he was able to walk soon after. He discovered his true calling when he was approached by a group of people in the park where he practiced regularly with a request to take classes. Bharat Shetty founded his first studio, Creative Yoga Center in Bangalore in 1998. He later moved to Mysore in 2004 and set up India Yoga, the most important yoga hub in India. He is the first yoga teacher in India to be certified ERYT 500, the highest level of instructor certification with Yoga Alliance. He provides financial assistance to underprivileged children for their education through India Foundation, a charitable trust he founded. He earned many awards and accolades. You can read more about him online. Without taking much of your time, let us welcome Yogacharya Bharat Shetty. Over to you, sir.
Thank you, Sunita, for the wonderful introduction. And happy International Yoga Day to all my running friends as well as yoga friends. Today, in the backdrop of International Yoga Day, the 5th International Yoga Day, we are going to share a few points related to yoga for sports performance. Yoga is a simple word, it says joining. Is anything, two or more things joins together, we normally call it yoga. In the sports, it is a most of dynamism. In one of the Swami Vivekananda's saying, he shares, if you want to do meditation, first get yourself fit, get into the football ground, play first, and get yourself stronger. That's most important. To be healthy, we need a strong physical body. And then a great communication of breath develops between mind and body. That's why the India Yoga, we always strongly work body, breath, and mind. Yes, you want to be spiritually grow. The most important thing we need is healthy body. To be spiritually grow, we also need a calm mind, a present mind. To bring the mind and body with good connection, that does the job by a breath. Yes, in the activities of any sports, these three combination makes us to enjoy that holistically and makes us to grow spiritually. It's the last around 25 years of active teaching. The injury is one of the cause by many different areas. As many of our runners and sports people are agree with me, by a small mistake, we get injured. Also, sometimes a fraction of second we forgetting ourselves, that creates accidental injuries. Today, we will have a brief idea how body, breath, and mind can be coordinated. And in this, I will like to share few different sections how yoga works for sports persons, the importance of breath in our running or sports activities, and how yoga can help to prevent injuries in the sports. Finally, if time permits, we'll share few yoga sequences for runners and sports performers, and also the warming up for running, and after a long run, the recovery. There are few techniques we will discuss. The first one, how yoga helps in our sports activities. There are many areas it brings us. The presence of mind naturally improves our performance. Not only sports, but also all wake of our lives. It may be profession, it may be studies. The presence of mind can make a big difference. We'll take few points for it soon. And yoga can help us to improve our mobility. The other key importance to mobilizing ourselves. It is again all ways of life, majorly in the sports. The mobility can help us to minimize our injuries, and it gives us maximum consistency. A good mobility and strength combination can help us to do that. And also, yoga helps us to reduce the fatigue. That really helps us to reduce the fatigue. That's why yoga is many different areas it works. As the time is limited, I like to cover a few of them. How it brings presence of mind. There are many techniques we can apply in our day-to-day activities. For example, we are going to run in the morning, naturally what we do. As soon as we get up, just watch your breath for some time and feel every little movement what we do. How you get up from the bed, going to the restroom, spending your time, quality time, and staying present in every little thing happens in restroom, including your brushing your teeth, washing your face, experiencing every little moment that can transform your run or other sports activities. More happy moments in it. It brings your presence in every little activities after that. I think that's how our elderly people create it for us. As soon as we get up, we have a prayer there. And that just bringing our presence, keep ourselves balanced in our all activities. We say, Karagre Vasate Lakshmi, Kara Madhye Saraswati, Kara Mole Sthite Gauri. The three deities we remember here. The Saraswati is the wisdom, the Lakshmi is the wealth, the Gauri is the power. Just to reminding us, keep me balanced throughout the day with these three. Exactly, when you get up, being present into every little moment, including your each step you put into that. Not only that, then you come to your performance or your free stretch. We do a lot of free stretch before our activities. Here also is one of the most important things we have to remember. Stretch smoothly, mindfully. Every little cell of the body responds to your direction. Your hand moves, your spine moves, your bending front, or every movement. Respect every single cell. The 40 to 60 trillion cells what our body holds. Give every cell connected as one thing. That brings great presence in your movement. The free stretch, sometimes we start doing a lot of free stretch and it's too dynamic, it's too sudden. I think many of you observed a lot of the beginning runners or sports condition, we get injury very quickly. We don't have enough patience to slowly develop. I had quite a few chance to do a little bit sports activities. For example, hiking in mountains and cycling quite long distance. Yes, the colleges, I used to run quite a lot too. And also, to some extent, I did rowing also. Realized most of the time we are in the state of competition. We lose our presence into it. But I feel if every sports we take, playfully. The name says play. That just makes us to grow more mindfully. And every time we play, we celebrate. The celebration comes quite strong in it. That's where I think we are missing today our running or our other sports activities. We are not celebrating with playing condition. Mostly we fight. Yoga strongly helps us to bring our presence in it. As I initially said, when your practice creates body, breath, and mind coordination, then unknowingly it transforms us. Majority of today's sports activities, we are very competitive, is good, but we forget to playfulness in it. The sportsmanship, we forget that. Exactly, the being present brings that into it. Very different technique we can use. For example, you start your running, 2 minutes or 3 minutes, just watch your breath. How harmoniously happens. You're not doing a long or deep breath here. It's just watching your breath. Just observing it. Believe me, the mind slows down beautifully. The distraction stops drastically. And you have a happiness of running. There's a freedom of running. The enjoyment of running. That makes your performance truly big. And also, this prevents our injuries. You may ask me, how it can prevent injuries? See, when your mind is present and your every movement is coordinated with your mind and the distraction disappears. If many of you might go back and just visualize your last injury happened. Either you are in a very stressful state of mind or a very competitive state of mind, or you have certain frustrations going on in it. In case you are present, you are enjoying what you do, happily you are communicating with it, it makes a huge difference. It leads much bigger. This way, when mindfully movement starts, the injuries drastically drops. Yes, yoga also helps. Whenever you are regularly, consistently work with yoga asanas or pranayama or silent sitting, the mindfulness, all of them leads into it. Here, in case you are a runner or you are in a sports activities, you can't think like as our introduction, that during the introduction, Revati rightly mentioned, even a fraction of second becomes so important. Yes, the fraction of seconds to achieve, we have to do sadhana for many years. That a point millisecond can change a big. But whoever achieves that, it not happens in overnight. He or she is in a great sadhaka, consistently, mindfully practicing it. They are the one who achieves that. Most of us, normally what we do, we fight. When we fight, we don't achieve that, the freedom. That's a powerful, the fraction of second. It can change a lot. That is like the power of every cell of our body. All cells works together. They make a huge difference in our overall performance. I know I say I'm limited with time, and I request everyone, whenever you want to do any sports, first develop your purpose. It's this medal is your only your purpose, then you lose a lot of things. The happiness should not miss in your purpose. When the purpose is fixed, make sure, build. Nothing happens in overnight. Everything need time. You want to achieve big, you have to give a long time. Small things happens quicker, but bigger things only happens years of sadhana or tapasya. This way, every budding runners or sports enthusiast, I request you, start enjoying what you do, and that just elevates you, motivates you to every time to go higher and higher. And how yoga can help us to improve our mobility here. Yes, sometimes our muscles are so stiff. It is only muscle is not the reason for it. Your breath is reason too. The mind also a reason to become stiff. When sometimes you are hardly not able to bending front and touching your toes. We think okay, impossible to touch my toes in my life. No, don't believe in it. Once upon a time I was struggling to sit crossed leg, and I took nearly 3 years for achieving my first Padmasana, the lotus pose. That taught me impossible is nothing. Okay, friends, you want to improve your mobility. Yes, you start to build the chalana, the movements with the breath, body and mind coordination. In India Yoga, we call this as an Arogya series. There is a series of 1 hour program we have, which just moves. The body movement takes place with the coordination of breath. Very smooth, harmonious, but every movement happens with mindfulness. When that happens, unknowingly our mobility improves. Yes, mobility can minimize your injuries. Mobility can improve your performance. That limits your restrictions of the movement. And yoga helps strongly for your mobility. I know there are going through my Hyderabad runners page, I can see an amazing asana performers in your running community. I know that's like many of you know how beautifully yoga helped you to perform much better. When the mobility develops, we don't need a very challenging asana to do here. Build your basic asanas steadily. There are few techniques. When you move front, each exhalation extend it. When you finish your exhalation, stop there, take an inhalation, exhale and go further the next breath. At the same way with the twisting. Inhalation always lift your spine, exhalation rotate it. That really helps to improve the mobility. Yes, if you take in your sports or in your running mainly, we need certain parts mobility is majorly needed. Hips and also I accept the shoulder also, as our shoulder is constantly moving there, it should be healthy also. And major muscles from the lower part of the body strongly engages. Yes, there are a lot of simple asanas can make that big difference into it. This way, the mobility can helps us to overcome a lot of our limitations. This way, to develop your mobility, 20 minutes of consistent practice can helps you a lot. And there are a lot of asanas easily can be done anytime you can do it. This way, this is one step by step we have to develop that. Then there are, I'm sorry, I'm just checking out my time to time. Here, there are other ways we have to be look always with the yoga. Yoga makes our consistency much better. And as you understood that reduce the injuries level. When the injuries reduces, the consistency of our tapas or the practice can go better. The 20 minutes or 30 minutes of early morning stretch before getting into it can help a lot. There's also a lot of practice. Your free time can be done. And after post run, there are a lot of stretches can helps you drastically overcome. And I know there is a lot I can show you, but it's a way too big subject to work with. But I still like to pick few simple stretches which can help us during the sports activities as well as particularly during running. During running, I was going through a lot of journals. The knee is one of the major strain holder as a weight bearing joint. The other thing is the lumbar and hips also getting a lot of their work and loads. And yes, the muscles fatigue is also high when we do in a long time sports activities. And a lot of basic stuffs can help us to overcome this. The first and most important part we can see here, the Surya Namaskar. I know it's I wanted to show you Surya Namaskara, but I request everyone, we have a detailed explanation of Surya Namaskara in our India Yoga YouTube channel. If you get a little time, please go through that, and it gives you a clarity of every simple movement, how important to improve our mobility and all round flexibility. That's why this is, I request you, if you get a little time, please follow that. The other important thing also, vinyasa. I think this word is not so familiar with the entire yoga community or running community. But vinyasa is it's called dynamic meditation or active meditation. Vini, nyasa. Vini means application or action. Nyasa is meditation. This is continuous movement with the coordination of breath and the mind. And this is also, we are available online to check all the step-by-step explanation there. I request you get a time, please go through that. And there are other few areas we can really concentrate. One thing is most important, the improving our breath. There are a lot of techniques can help us to improve our breath. There are two simple techniques. It comes from the Kriyas called Mukha and Kapalabhati. I think many of you are familiar with it, but I'll quickly show you the few steps how you can work on that. The Mukha is a very simple technique where we inhale through nose, exhale actively through mouth. This is also, we have a video available for you. But I request you, this can be practiced every day morning to improve our presence and improve our lungs capacity, reduce the fatigue of the neuromuscular system. And it is one of the another important work after running, if you're exhausted, around 3 to 5 minutes of Mukha Dhoti catches your breath very quickly. I think many of you may knowingly or unknowingly doing this, but this can make a huge difference after any exhaustion or after tiredness. Remember, it is not only for running after sports. Even in your office, you are stressed out, you're tired, you're exhausted. Sometimes, due to the stress, the head runs or spins. This is the time the Mukha Dhoti can make a huge impact. I request all my running friends, next time when you do your 5K or 10K, when you first thing after slowing down, try few rounds of Mukha Dhoti. And looking forward some reaction from you after that. The other important breath is Kapalabhati. It is again cleansing technique or Kriya. What we do normally, according to your limit, you have to be work this. It's very simple. Exhaling through the nose, inhaling through the nose. The exhalation is active, the inhalation is passive. It almost comes, if it is done with closed eyes, it's one of the very amazing practice. Preferably done with empty stomach, if possible, early in the morning. It almost goes like this. Normally, we can do anything between 15 stroke to 300 strokes in one stretch. But detailed explanation and detailed technique right from the beginners, it is again available in our YouTube channel called India Yoga. And I have a special technique for particularly runners, also hikers. I used to use this, which helped me a lot to be not exhausted or tired. But it needs some time to practice. It is called Lagu Mula. It is in a lighter version of Mula Bandha. How to do this? Whenever you breathe, mindfully observe your breath. Then gently close the eyes and start engaging the space between anus and genital. It's called Mulasthana. There is a little space between anus and genital. That space has to be lightly contracted. When you contract it, the entire core muscle contracts automatically. But you have to remember, it is not make you to just to squeeze glutes. You may experience a little contraction on the buttocks, a lot of contraction on the inner line of your thighs, the arch of the foot to the groin. You may feel a pull there. You may feel a little contraction on the anus region, genital region, but as or mild. And also below the navel, you see quite strong contraction naturally happens. It's very simple. Once you understood that very well, normally the heaviness of the body drastically drops this. Some of my friends and students who are long runners, I asked them to apply this. They found a drastic change in their performance. I found this very interesting technique. Similar technique we use also in yoga to float ourselves or jump or go on handstand or doing vinyasa floating. This normally we use that particular technique. When that is engaging happens, the belly contracts below the navel, the breath easily switches into the chest and clavicular. And just gives a good lift on the spine and releases the rest of the stiffness of the body. And which gives you a lot more light of the body. It makes you naturally present. And gives a lot of freedom into your movements. In yogic term, we normally say the earth element and water element, which is normally moves downward. which is associated with the anus and genital, that normally keeps heavier up for us. But other two elements, which is the wind and space. Wind is associated with the heart, space with the throat. When we are applying the Laghu Mula, the breath naturally takes place into the chest and clavicular. Remember, there's a big difference between stressful breath and yogic breath. In the stressful breath, it just normally we get a lot of pressure on the throat region. And breath is hardly not reaches, you get breath is become very shorter. In yogic breath, your breath drops into around 5 to 6 breaths for a minute in your asana performance. But that is surely helps during your running. The recovery part will be very quicker and very natural, and which is develops, the breathing develops the cellular memory into the coordination of breath. That's why you will experience a lot lighter yourself when you're moving. There's a direct pressure dropping on the knee, ankle, and lower back drastically drops. Yes, it needs time to master this technique. Once you master it, it makes an amazing change to run smoother. Or if you do any other sports, it really may builds that your body movement is become more light, more mobile. This way, it helps us to cover ourselves much easier. In the overall performance, this Laghu Mula can make a big difference. The strain which is develops on the gluteus, quads, hamstring, calf muscles also drastically reduces here. And their performance improves a lot. And at the same time, it helps us to slow down our breath. The pressure level on the breath reduces a lot. The overall, its performance helps a lot to improve them. Yes. What are the techniques really going to help us to improve our free run stretch and forced run stretch? I know I wanted to give a lot of the demonstration, but it is a limited. Now always you can come to our YouTube channel. We are building up a lot of techniques to be worked there, but I'll just show you few techniques which can be built up regularly to improve your mobility and coordination. There is few simple stretchings can be practiced by almost anyone. That will be Parshvottanasana, Parivrata Trikonasana, Virabhadrasana or Anjaneyasana combination. I'll just show you the technique quickly, and after that I'll just also give you few more technique which is particularly after run to slow down ourselves, and also any time of the day you can be performed. Okay, quickly take a look. The few techniques which helps us to communicate between body, breath and mind. Okay, you can just go to Adho Mukha Svanasana. I think many of you know this. Adho Mukha Svanasana. The down facing. Make sure your weight is between hands and legs equally shaped. In this, make the feet into V shape and and bring your right foot next to right hand if you can. And square the hip. Square the hip. Make sure to square the hip. Stay here for a few breaths. But most important thing you have to remember here, the weight on your both legs equally shared. And again the pelvic floor, pull the belly and lengthen the spine. You can stay anything between 45 seconds to 3 minutes here with equal weight sharing on both legs and lengthening your spine. After this, the next one called Parivrtta Trikonasana stretch. Make sure the weight remain on both legs equal, spine parallel, then raise your left hand up. Give a light twist here and belly actively pull in, rotate your waist and open your chest. After staying here around 45 seconds to 3 minutes, then smoothly come back, then bend your back knee. Push the hip and just stretch up to your comfortable limit. Up to your comfortable limit. It feels good. There are a lot of stretch you can see on your quadriceps and your opposite hamstring. And make sure there is no pressure comes on your knee and no pressure comes on the lower back or neck. It still feels good and comfortable. Just stretch it out. And extend it as much as possible. Once again, stay around 2 to 3 minutes if you can, but make sure no pressure on your knee, lower back and neck. Then once you finish all the three, just go back to Adho Mukha Svanasana, also called known as a down facing down. Repeat the same thing on the other side. This is very helpful if you are regularly done. Then other thing is always remember, stretch back. This can be done any time of the day and pull the belly, weight between the hands and the left leg is equal. Stay around 9 to 12 breaths. On that finished, just cross. It is called Ekapada Rajakapotasana stretch. Your opposite heel comes to your hip. The other leg straight back. And square the hip, extend your trunk and expand the chest. But no stress on the neck. Always remember, neck, lower back, knee should not have any stress in any practice. When this is completed, after doing this for few breaths, anything between 5 to 10 breaths, then again stretch front here. You can do anything between 1 to 3 minutes in this. Then a good square hip, square shoulder, and extended spine. And once you finish that, just come back. The same thing you are repeating from the other side. Make sure always equal amount length you have to be maintained on each side. Never make one side longer than the other side. Always stretch. Any time of the day you can do for improving your overall mobility and the lower back strength. And also it is a good asana to quick relieving from the stiff back, stiff hip, and it also slows down the body very quickly. The other very beautiful technique is also whenever you are fatigued, this is the way to go down. Just extend your trunk and lengthen it. It is called Adho Mukha Virasana. You can stay anything between 1 minute to 5 minutes here. Just quickly release the body and one can energize very easily. And one more beautiful technique whenever you after run or in case you have a stiff back, stiff knee, you can also work. There's a very simple asana. You can cross here and you can smoothly stretch. Cross it like Pavanamuktasana. Stay few breaths, then equal length on the other side. This is also can help a lot to overcome the small issues we have in your lower part, knees. That releases a lot. I know there are many things we can cover here. Okay, there are few stretches. One small thing, always remember whenever you are using these stretches, equal duration we have to maintain between right side and left side. One small mistake majority of us we do, when you do these stretches, one side we do more, which is we have a stiff side. The other side, sometimes we don't do at all. That mistake, don't do it. In long term, it gives a lot of imbalances. That's why maintain equanimity, samatva. The equanimity is very important, any of these practices. Now, when we work stage by stage and steadily we build up, there's a huge difference can be seen in our overall performance. There are simple asanas like Setu Bandhasana. It prevents any chance of getting back stiffness or compression on the vertebrae. Setu Bandhasana can be done breathing. Setu Bandhasana can be held in position. Or you can get into Setu Bandhasana pushed into Chakrasana. Is one of the other beautiful work to open up the chest and release the stiffness from the lower back and gluteus and quadriceps and calf muscles. And another great practice which can help us to improve our gluteus muscles, it is Chatushpadasana or single leg raised Chatushpadasana, which is normally builds up backward movement, at the same time stabilizes very strongly there. And overall, whenever you're doing yoga, remember, asana is not just a physical exercise. Asana is a combination of body, breath, mind. They all three combines together and works with the harmony. One experiences the great growth in it. In the sports, we need very strong body, very pleasant mind, where one-pointedness is the key there. To achieve one-pointedness or our goal with a strong body, the most important thing, harmonize this, is our breath. When the body movement harmoniously coordinated with breath, the mind automatically withdraws. This way, beautifully said in Hatha Yoga Pradipika, Chale Vatam, Chale Chittam, Nischale Nischalam Bhavet. A distracted breath is a distracted mind. When the breath slows down, mind calms down. That's where our performance enhances drastically. And we all have a different type of body, different condition we're getting into the practice. But one request with everyone, don't fight with your practice. Play with your practice. It may be your running, it may be other sports, it may be yoga. Combination, build it up. Play. That's where the sportsmanship builds up very strongly. And enjoy every moment you achieved. Okay, there is no competitor for you. It's always your progress is your enhancements. Your consistency makes you bigger and stronger. That's why it's all about building our consistency in our action. The consistency with the presence of mind. The coordination. And that makes a huge difference. And beautifully, Sage Patanjali says, Satu Dirgha Kala Nairantarya. Dirgha means long, Kala is time, Nairantarya is continuously. One has to get into the Abhyasa. The practice has to be work with these three elements. Long, time, consistently. With stage by stage growth. then we achieve our inner presence. We achieve our enjoyment of our sports. The sports is not limited to only competition. The sports is unlimited. To explore ourselves into the beyond what we can see, beyond what we can imagine. Normally in yoga we call drashta and adrashta. Drashta, something we can only see, that is only we are limiting ourselves. The unseen is very big, huge, but our practice should be educative. It leads us known to the unknown, which takes us into our adrashta. I strongly believe in adrashta is nothing but going consistently known direction, where we meet an amazing abundance of happiness. That's where we need in every our action. We have to go with mindfulness. The happiness builds through that. Always make sure your practice has to go with that freedom. No, I know we all in the motivation of International Yoga Day. And Hyderabad yoga team organized the 3 program tomorrow. And yes, we also leading a International Yoga Day Surya Namaskar Marathon tomorrow morning, 7:30 till 9. I'm requesting everyone, if you make time and join us, I will lead the whole program. And remember, make your yoga practice is a way of life, not just to be the one particular reason. Every little movement, what you do, make it as yoga. Your mind is involved into that 100%. That's how it says, being completely mindful in every little moment we do it. If you walk, feel every step of yours. In case you want to make that is as meditation, you walk as a meditation. 4 steps take inhalation. The next 4 steps take exhalation. When you take a bath, don't forget, watch every drop falls on you. Experience it. Believe me, it's an amazing experience. Most of the time, what happens when you take a bath, we think, oh, what I am going to do in my office. Oh, I had this much stress today to face it. No. Try to be as much as possible. Experience every little of that. Then, when you eat, that is also another most important part, eat mindfully. Every little bite you eat, experience it. Feel the taste, texture, smell, all the sense organs connect into your food. We always will eat only our requirement. And I think many of you agree with me. When body missing something, you start craving for it. That's the body mechanism. That's why always make sure eat mindfully. And the most important, many of us, we don't sleep. And majority of us, when we sleep, still our phone is in our hands. And that is another most important thing. Before going to bed, preferably avoid your phone for a few minutes. If possible, half an hour. Just spend time with you. Just go and just watch how wonderful day you had. And sometime what happens, you had some fight with someone at morning 10 o'clock, you're sleeping, that remain goes the whole day, you are carrying that 10 o'clock fight. The friend who fighted with you is there with the whole day. Night 10 o'clock, you are going to sleep. Your friends remain with you. 11 o'clock, your friend only running in your mind. 12 o'clock, your friend remain there. No, it's not necessary. If you fight, the time finished, just stop there and continue your day. Remember, if anything is good or bad, don't carry for a long time. It makes very heavy for our own shoulders. Remember, when those thoughts are runs on your shoulders, the neck becomes stiff. I don't know how many of you experienced, whenever we stressed, the three areas easily carries this stress. The first one is our neck. Neck gets stiffer. When your constant working stress can easily make our neck stiffer. Second stress part is always goes to the lumbar. And most of our sports friends, our stress is more than the neck, the knee, or on the lower back. When we are work mindfully, and these three areas always keep extra concern, then our stress can be drastically dropped. And when we come to sleep, leave everything of the day as it is. Forget it, the day is finished. Tomorrow is going to start a new one. Between, we have a gap. Go for the deep sleep. If you are able to mute yourself completely. Always make sure you have to work with that consistently and regularly. That really helps. And one more thing we always remember in our daily activities. Always we think, I am the one has all the problem of the world. Incidentally, every one of us think the same. Remember, who faces the more problem, who achieves the maximum. If you achieve the highest, and then you face the maximum problems. If you, a small portion, your problem is that small portion only. Okay, the problem, it happens in life. It only makes us to grow bigger. The problem is an opportunity. It is not an limitation. Friends, always remember, any problems comes in front, just face and proceed. You can easily overcome every little distraction in our life. That's why Patanjali beautifully says, Eka Tattva Abhyasa. When we have a clear vision, we can overcome by any kind of limitation in our life, we face it. That's a clear vision we have. Surely path has the multiple different problems. Remember, problems are good. Problems never stops us. If stops, then you are surrendered. Whenever problems comes, just happily face it. When you realize you are able to face, you are able to overcome that problem, next time it is an opportunity. That problem never going to stop it. Think about every day you overcome one major problems and you find a solution. The life transforms completely there. That's why I request every one of you, any problems comes in life, it is just the beginning of your new journey. That's why take every hurdles and keep moving. Never stop till you reach your destination. I've seen quite a few of the runners, they're cramped and other things. They roll and reach the last line. That's what I've seen, the power of one's motto to continue with their practice. I'm running, sorry. That's why I request every one of you, play with your sports. The sports should make you happier. The sports should never make you sad, never make you painful. In case that pain comes, injury comes, it only gives you a better opportunity to become you stronger. It just creates another opportunity to we are going more stronger. That's why I request every one of you, anytime any problem comes, don't stop your sports activities. It's one of the amazing things when you get out and just to be explore the world. Another important thing. See, the problem leads us to the success there. Injuries should not stop you. Injuries make you to understand your system better. Yes, I'm always the direction of not to get injuries, but when you get injuries, please don't stop. When you get injuries, just understand the healing process. The whole process of healing makes you so much meditative. And it gives you a freedom of overcoming any restriction in our own life. Always go with that positive set of mind and hold that for a long time. Yes, sometimes you are not able to make a decision, is it right or wrong? Surely concern the person related. And surely if you are a runner, surely there will be amazing runners to guide you. And there is nothing wrong taking the experts' support when we are in doubt. That helps us to grow bigger and really higher and stronger. I will slowly, I'm looking forward to, I think we have already quite a lot of questions and waiting for me. And I request Pratibha to take over now.
Thank you, sir. So slow down your breath, calm your mind, be mindful, and improve your performance. I think this is to summarize whatever Bharat sir has explained so beautifully in the last few minutes, in the last 40 minutes or half an hour. So it is very, very important to understand that if you bring in mindfulness in your running, it will help you to improve your performance and will also help you to prevent your injuries. And then he also spoke about how improving your mobility will also help you to overcome your limitations and will help you to run a little better. And then beautiful tips and techniques shared by Bharat sir. The tip of Mukha Dhauti. So if after a run, if you're feeling very fatigued, all that you need to do is 5 or 10 rounds of mindful Mukha Dhauti, where you breathe in through the nose and breathe out through the mouth, and you can release your muscular fatigue. And very important aspect, which he touched upon very briefly, was the doing the Laghu Mula, okay, wherein you contract and engage your core muscles, which helps you to brace your lower back. That will help you to prevent any kind of injuries in the lower back, and also will open up your chest and your lung capacity to improve your breathing while you're running. So wonderful, Bharat sir, and thank you so much for giving us all of these tips and techniques. So we have a few questions from the runner friends. So one of our runners, Ravi Nair, he asks, saying that running is, and to improve performance in running, which is a high intensity sport. So when we are trying to do yoga to improve our running, which more or less is less intensity, how does it help? Because as runners, we've always believed that we should be doing something a kind of a high intense workout. But if I understand yoga to be a low intense workout, so there are two parts of this question, and please address this.
It's a beautiful question.
Yes, Bharat sir.
It's very interesting question also. Yes, the running always in a very high intense sports and speed, it matters big. But in yoga, what it does, it prepares every cell of our body to adjust to that speed. And during the yoga, you connect your body, breath and mind together. When that is brought together, when you do any speed, body not loses its direction. And it develops the harmony into every single cell to focus and coordinate in one direction. And any direct strain developing into one side. I think many of my running friends are agree with me. The majority of injuries happens for a women's side, it is more on their right side. The men's side, they're more experienced on their left side. This kind of pull of imbalance is always there. But yoga, what it does, it brings into the centering. And consistently centered and balanced practice can transform that into the completely overcoming that, and it is just helps to the speed become enhanced without the heaviness, and it gives them mobility and also the stability and presence of mind, which all three together, that they become a sprint, and that leads to a huge growth and limits the chance of strains. I believe that is a question, if I understood right. Okay,
Yes, that's right, Bharat sir. So what Bharat sir is essentially saying, is along with you build up your breath and you build up your mindfulness, which helps you in peaking your performance, or getting your performance a step ahead. Thank you so much. Now, speaking of breath, Bharat sir, a lot of our runner friends, some of them say that deep abdominal breathing is good, but some of them understand that thoracic or chest breathing is correct. So while we are running, what kind of breathing technique or what kind of breath, more of a chest and thoracic breathing?
Okay, yes, the breath makes you to run faster. The element of wind makes much easy to run around. Yes, we have two types of breathing in yogic terms. The belly breathing for relaxation, the chest and clavicular breathing to elevate and make you lighter, and dynamism. When the dynamism comes, it is more on the chest and clavicular breathing. And in yogic term, what it is really leads there, the chest and clavicular associates with wind and space elements, and which is normally makes your body to float and minimize the heaviness. When you try to do a deep abdomen breathing during the running, and normally body goes more relaxed and it is become heavier. And that is also, there is a chance of putting more pressure on the weight bearing joints. This way building up, as I mentioned during our the explanation, the Laghu Mula. When you do Laghu Mula, you can't do the lower abdomen breathing or deep abdomen breathing. That is naturally enhances the chest and clavicular movement. This way, during the running, if my little experience in it, and few of my friends who are marathon runner and Ironman runner, the competitors, okay, they all found this chest and clavicular breath made a huge difference in their performance. This way, engaging a little pelvic contraction, the floor, and which is raises the body well, and which is allows the breath to move more into the upper limbs. This upper limbs helps us to move the body more smoother into the wind. Okay, that's, I think many runners also agree with me. The wind direction running become more smoother. as facing the wind and running is much harder. Similarly, the breathing into the chest and clavicular takes us to the higher and makes us to flow much smoother and much better. That's the question. If I
So when you want to run, when you want to
looks like there is a little the technical issue with the internet with the Pratibha there. Okay, I think Pratibha will be shortly joining back, guys. And still a little bit distraction, Pratibha. Still Pratibha comes back, guys. We will they continue few more things. Okay, and always make sure. Okay, Pratibha, I'm still a little not audible of you. Okay, Pratibha, you are.
Yes, I am back, sir.
Cool.
So there's another question on pranayama by our runner Sandeep Krishna. He
Yeah.
asks, saying that pranayama is said to heal a lot of chronic diseases.
Yes.
Can you just explain and elaborate on the science behind the statement? We all understand, but then a little science behind the statement.
Okay, very interesting. Yeah, breath is the great healer. Okay, we have in the yogic term, we have 5 elements: earth, water, fire, air, and space. Okay. The pranayama comes under the pranic body, which is the second important body, which moves the functioning of our body. When the breath is smoother and deeper, it reaches every single cell of our physical body. And every functioning of every single cell in the body happens through the breath or the pranayama. When the breath or the prana not reach to certain part of the body, we experience a lot of different pains, aches, injuries. Some long-term injuries happens which is certain part of the body not properly used or overused. What pranayama really does, it smoothens that. Pranayama, one first thing is when you need to do pranayama, body has to be healthy and purified. Okay, that is where we use kriyas and asanas to purify and stabilize. When it comes to the pranayama, breath slows down. When the breath slows down, as you know, mind slows down. Most of our problems is not in the body, it is also in the mind. And when the breath smoothens and lengthens, the body naturally relaxes. And I think many of my friends, including my friend who asked this question, agree with me. Whenever we got in a small injury or pain, we think so many times about that small thing. Our mind constantly goes, why this has happened? I didn't do mistakes. Okay, I always have suffered. Our mind always is negative thought. But at any time you have any pain or injuries, very simple thing I like to ask everyone, don't give so much importance of that pain and just concentrate on that continuously for some time. That heals much faster. Friends, this is again my one experience. When I met an accident, I was in 45 days in bed, where bus passed on my left knee and he put the brake on my right foot and my right shoulder hit into road divider. I can't even turn my body. Doctor wanted to remove my left leg. But that whole thing, one thing has happened, I had an inner voice, I can heal myself. And only one thing I told my life throughout, every friend who came to visit me this time, they asked me, your yoga life is finished. Okay, you can't do yoga any further. Your legs are gone. What doctor said, follow it up. Now I fighted with everyone and said, I can come back. It's only one thought in my mind, I have to come back. Okay. I request everyone, when there is an injury or the other things, the mind plays the key role. Mind puts us into so many negative thoughts, which is consumes most of our energy. Keep the mind more meditative. It's a pranayama helps to be meditative. And nothing possible, just watch your breath all the time. And believe me, the healing happens half the time, which is any other suggestion. That's the quick that healing it gives. And it releases a lot of other negativeness out of it, and which develops a strong belief within you. And yes, when pranayama works, first thing is it releases neuromuscular tension. As soon as the breath slows down and lengthens, neuromuscular tension reduces, which helps to recovery very quick. And that will be supported by your mind. Whenever we do breath longer, mind calms down. During the webinar I was shared with you, Chale Vatam, Chale Chittam, Nischale Nischalam Bhave. A distracted breath is distracted mind. And the pranayama normally calms down your breath completely in deep. At the same time, mind goes that slow and deep, relaxed. That is the time healing. Many times we can't believe that the healing power we have. And I want to tell the last word here. Believe me, every problem our body faces, it has a mechanism to heal. But only we don't believe in that mechanism, and we run behind many other things. That's how the pranayama can really make any of the issues. If proper guidance is done, it can heal.
What a wonderful explanation, Bharat sir. I am sure, Sandeep, that answers your question. The next question we'll take up is from Raghu. He asks, whenever I sit down to meditate, which I think is a common problem, and you must be hearing this question time and again, that whenever I sit down to meditate, my mind is just moving and I'm not able to meditate. So any tips or any insights on that, sir?
I think my friend Raghu, it is the best thing. Whenever mind runs, you start running with it. You run and mind slows down. Okay. End of the run, you come and sit. Mind can't go anywhere. The mind try to catch up the breath. Okay. That is the one kind active meditation you need. Or you really want to change it. There are other simple technique you can really use. Count backward from 108 to back to 1. In case you miss, you say 79, 78, 76, 75, and suddenly you start going up. Start back again. 108, 107, 106, 105, 104, 103, 102. Just go back to 1. Once again repeat. First do that. Is that good? 108 inhale, 107 exhale, 106 inhale, 105 exhale, 104 inhale, 103 exhale. Just go back like this. And that is one of the simple technique can be worked. And in case this is also not works, just do Kapalabhati for 1 minute and watch the change happening the next 1 minute. Repeat around 5-10 minutes like that. The mind automatically slows down.
Okay. Sir, so I'll combine two questions in one. This is specifically the runners are asking this question time and again. How many times should one do yoga? You know, if somebody is a runner, so how many times in a week one should do running, one should do yoga? And also there are so many different forms of yoga. Like we know there is Hatha, there is Ashtanga, there is Iyengar, there is Kundalini. So as a runner, which form of yoga do you think one should practice or one should be doing? And how many times in a week would be ideal to practice yoga to improve somebody's performance in running?
Okay, very interesting. Yes, the two questions. The first, I'll take the second question. Which type of yoga to do for a runners? Friends, we all have yoga, which is all comes from asana portion comes from the basic Hatha yoga. Okay, that is in a different sequencing. We have a different names of it. But most important thing, whichever practice is combined with the body, breath, mind, you can continue with it. It doesn't matter means that or this. The few things is simple, important things you have to be keep in your mind: an alignment of the body, alignment of the breath, and coordinate really well. It doesn't matter which system belongs to it. It is helpful. Then, how many times a week to do it? 6 times a week at least. And you can do, like only we believe in yoga. If you do anything, try to do consistently, preferably. Yes, many of you can't do every day 1 hour, 90 minutes your yoga practice. Not necessary. If you're doing it 3 times a week and on full class, other 3 times a week, at least do 20 or 30 minutes. Keep some consistency in your practice. That is the best way to perform. And you are doing, as I told you, the best to do it anytime. For example, before going to bed, just regularly do Supta Virasana and Ekapada Rajakapotasana. Your performance drastically improves. Okay. In the morning, just do around 20 rounds Surya Namaskara if you can't do anything. 12 rounds Surya Namaskara takes around 20 minutes. And that keeps you an all-round package. But yes, time to time, the overall mobility and flexibility building up, you need guidance. Follow sincerely a teacher, and whenever you have any fluctuation, communicate with them and get the updation from them. That will help. With the teacher's support, it is always the best to go with. There's many times we know a lot of things. We don't know when to put where, what to put when. That is, we are missing it. That's why a teacher always can help you the time to time what thing can be done better to get the best performance. That's why if possible do 6 days a week, and if possible 24/7. Being mindful, that is the most important, and asana practice at least 6 times a week if you can. And what system? Any system. Yoga is yoga. Okay, only important thing where it brings you body, breath, mind in a good harmony.
So beautifully explained, sir. So yoga is not only the 1 hour or the half an hour you spend on the mat, but whenever you're being mindful in whatever activity you're doing, you are in a way practicing yoga. So beautifully explained, sir. We'll just take up the last question. So if somebody wants to go for a run, can Surya Namaskar can be taken up before the run? Can it provide a full body warm-up which will help and enhance the run? So can Surya Namaskar can be taken up, before the run, sir?
Yes, Surya Namaskara is one can make you in a full body, mind, and breath to warm up. It wakes you up. It releases all the fatigue of the body and any stiffness of the body it can. If technically just to do, make sure the alignment's proper and coordinate proper and do just 20 minutes Surya Namaskara, it keeps you totally fit and totally warmed and totally centered. Every round you have to wear inhalation, exhalation, which is hard, drops your breath around 8 breaths per minute if in a harmony you maintain. And toes till the crown, every little part of the body, it releases its tensions. That's it. And again, your spine, your hips, your knees, your ankles, your shoulders, your wrist, and your upper back, your neck, every little part will warms up if harmoniously did Surya Namaskara. But only small thing you have to remember, technically check your Surya Namaskara properly. And when that is then harmoniously developed and practiced, yes, that gives you enough warmness and you can go for a full marathon after that.
So dear runners, whenever you want to go for a run and you need a full body warm-up, you can resort to your Surya Namaskar, but remember you have to do it with proper alignment, with your breath awareness and a lot of mindfulness. What it will give you a lot of concentration, a lot of focus, which will help you in your running. Thank you so much, Bharat sir. And on that note, tomorrow we have a yoga marathon, which is led by none other than Acharya Bharat sir. So you can join that. And along with that program, early morning, we have a beginner session 6 to 7. and also a late evening session, 5:30 to 6:30. And all of these will be streamed via the Hyderabad Runners Facebook page. So please do join us. Thank you so much, Bharat sir, once again, to take out time and giving us a beautiful insight on yoga. And over to you, Prasanna, now. Thank you so much, Bharat sir, once again, from the entire running fraternity of Hyderabad.
Share with things.
Thank you, Pratibha, for wonderful Q&A facilitation. Friends, it was yet another informative and inspiring one-hour talk, this time all about yoga. We hope you all enjoyed this as much as we did organizing it. Today, we were presented with numerous benefits of yoga brings to us sportsperson, including us runners. Thank you so much, Bharat sir, for all these valuable inputs, answering all the questions as well. Our deepest gratitude for taking time out and spending time with us and sharing your rich experiences and learnings. And to our lovely audience, thank you so much for choosing to spend time with us today. Apologies for the delay. However, it was a wonderful talk. Please feel free to ask any more questions for Bharat sir in the comment section. We will get it worked out and have the answers as soon as possible. Our video recordings is going to be available on Hyderabad Runners Facebook page as well as on Airtel Hyderabad Marathon YouTube page. Please come back and watch us again. And also don't forget to share on your social media profiles with hashtag Hyderabad Runners and hashtag Beyond the Track. Before we wind up, we strongly recommend everyone to follow the government advisories to be safe, healthy, and considering a number of COVID cases rapidly increasing across the country. We'll be back next Saturday with yet another expert and yet another interesting talk for you all. As you mark every Sunday morning for our Sunday long runs, SLR, please mark your Saturday evenings, 7:30 to 8:30 for these webinars on Beyond the Tracks. Before I sign off, I would like to remind about the Yoga Day celebration events that we are lined up tomorrow. First session starts at 6 to 7 a.m. Yoga for beginners, followed by 7:30 to 9, 108 Surya Namaskar, guided by Yogacharya Bharat Shetty, the very person we've been listening to. And towards the evening, 5:30 p.m. is Hatha Yoga. It's all about coordinating the breath, body, and mind. We request you all to come back on Hyderabad Runners Facebook page live right here tomorrow, 6 a.m. We hope to see you all tomorrow. Until then, this is Prasanna from Hyderabad Runners signing off. Stay safe, stay healthy, be happy. Bye.